Hello Aspire region, this is Ali Garcia and this is the second YouTube video in order to help prepare you for the 2017 policy analysis thing that we're doing in DC. One thing I want to grab is, so today on our agenda it looks like we were talking about how to get to know your legislators better. And so thanks to the internet and we're able to find out a lot about our legislators through the internet now. So some of the things I will go through you can find on your own, and then if you have any questions or you're struggling finding information, you can always come in contact with me. So one cool thing that I didn't talk about in our last video, but our motto will be now more than ever at policy. And so thinking of that, now more than ever, we need to rally for our programs and support our TRIO programs. So let's first decide of what we're doing. And so the first thing that we're going to do is, I would suggest that you get into like a Google. I went ahead and Googled Colorado legislators. It kind of tells you the Senate education, so it kind of tells you who's on the committee, the education committee. And then it kind of tells you, if you scroll here, it tells you the Senate calendar, bills and fiscal notes, meeting summaries and votes. So the first thing that I would first look at is the bills. And so I think I already pulled up the bills right here, and they're tiny. And this is just an example, but it's telling you all the bills that have possibly been, that will be discussed. And this would be a great way if you want to go in, if you look at a bill and you want to go in and support a bill, or you're against a bill, for you to actually go in on these days to testify. Testifying really helps give a narrative to bills. It helps give how that's going to affect other people. And so I highly recommend doing that. If not, it's just nice to see what your state is thinking about, what's on their radar. And so then if we go back, you can see meeting summary and votes. So summaries by bill, summaries by committee. So we are gonna go to the House Education Committee. And you know, you can look up anything of what's happening. So then the final vote. A lot of these will have final votes. And if you look at this one, it talks about who voted what for what bill. So if you read some bills, and especially if they have to do with equity, access, retention for underrepresented students, and you see patterns of yeses and nos, that will kind of give us a place to start to know if we're going to have some pushback from any congressional leaders. So again, this is the House, but some things to think about is like the Senate, right? So we want to go to the Senate and find out what the Senate is doing. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go back and see Senate. Oh, maybe I already was in the Senate. I was there. Okay, so make sure that you're doing the Senate. The House is great too, to know what's happening locally, and since we're governed by our state, it's always really important to know what the House is doing, but we were already in the exact Senate place, so that's great. If you want to look at anything on here, I can take a look at your specific state, but if you go here, there's higher ed. Some programs may want to look at pre-K through 12, but taking a look at some of the big higher ed stuff. I know in Colorado we're currently ranked like 48th out of 50 states for funding, and so we do a terrible job of funding, and that's because of the Tabor law. And so it's interesting to kind of see what's going to be happening in the next fiscal year for our institutions here in Colorado. So that's something to look into, and that'll definitely help you pregame, if you will, before you go and talk to the legislators to know exactly where their maybe thoughts are and how they've voted in the past, so that we can come up with a game plan of how to motivate them to vote yes, or to say yes, or be a part of the caucus, or just support TRIO. Even if they do like a letter, a Dear Colleague letter, that would be very helpful in support of TRIO. So that's kind of it for this session, this portion. I'll be seeing you in 2 weeks again. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts, but this is a great way to help prep yourself and your team and your state for policy now more than ever in March in DC. So thanks so much. We'll talk to you later.